Hello and welcome back. Now I've got a very interesting topic to discuss with you today, and it's to do with how in the physical world, forensic science has discovered that we leave traces of our physical body everywhere we go. When you open a door handle or touch an item or even breathe, uh, little bits of hair, all this kind of thing. We leave physical traces of ourselves everywhere we go. But what you may not have thought about is we also leave energetic traces of ourselves everywhere we go. We carry a sort of energy signature. We emit a level of light, and it can either be in a positive sense or a negative sense. If you're quite a toxic individual, then you can carry a toxic energy with you, and it will affect everywhere that you walk, all the rooms that you enter, places where you live will really have this energy present in them when you're not there. So it's a very powerful thing. It also works obviously in the positive sense that the universe is just it's like a yin and yang of everything. Everything has its counter, its opposite, its nemesis. So we've got good energy and we have negative energy. It's not so much like good and evil. It's just the opposite. It's just everything has to be explored in this universe from contrast. So you can't experience high if you don't have low. You can't experience positive if you don't have negative. We have to have these opposites to play about in this universe. So what a couple of things happened to coincide recently that made me think about this, and it sparked in me an awareness that it's not something maybe everybody thinks about consciously, but that you should be aware of. Some time ago I divorced from a very toxic individual, and it's taken me a while to recover from that long-term marriage, from that energy that had been close proximity to me for so many years. But what I realised is a lot of his items, his possessions were still about the house and in the backs of cupboards and drawers, and just dotted here and there, or in the shed. We're clearing out the shed, and a lot of his stuff was in the shed, and my impulse, it was like a gut reaction to it, was I want that stuff gone, because his energy's all over it, and it just pulls me back into a very challenging time for myself. And also the energies, the opposite energies, kind of the strongest energy prevails. So if you're having a dip in your energy and someone has a more stronger energy force at that time, they can bring you down or uplift you. There's this exchange of energy. It just happens all the time, everywhere, in manifold ways, with everyone that you think or talk to or work with, encounter, pass in the street. Energy is just in constant motion, swirling back between individuals, between even the living and the inanimate. Energy is passing. So that was what originally sparked this video, was looking at those old possessions that were still in my environment, and thinking the items themselves, there was nothing wrong with them. They could be useful. I might even need them myself, but I had this very strong thought, I'd rather buy a new one than use this old one that was full of his energy, because he was so very toxic. So and then I also had another conversation which kind of shone a different aspect of this discussion, and it was someone close to me who's recently gone into a care home, and they're coming to the last chapters of their life, and the discussions come up about what to do with with their possessions. And it's nice, it was nice in that instance to talk about you know, a little memento you'd like to have of that person, to remember them, to hold a piece of their energy, to have that connection to them, you know, that you could, if you were missing them or wanted to communicate with them or something, you could take this object that you had and it would instantly you know, like in an old-fashioned telephone exchange, it would just plug you in to their energy field, and you can sit with it, and it would make connection easier. So I asked for this little silver pill box, the beautiful porcelain top on it that had an Edwardian lady. She was absolutely beautiful. I'd actually bought this for that individual, and I had been in two minds about giving them it because I loved it so much. I thought it was just a beautiful object. So they've had it now with them for 20 odd years, and I said, if I was to have anything of theirs, I would like that little box back again, and it will sit very nicely on the shelf, and it will be a wonderful tool for me to connect with them when they do ultimately pass over. So that there's a science, one of the spiritual sciences. I think it's psychometry, where you can pick up keys or jewellery or little items that belong to people, and you get this instant connection with that energy, that person that was, and you can get information from them or a stronger connection with them. So it's a wonderful thing, and there's science in it too. I don't know, we haven't got the advancement in science at the moment to fully understand how that works. We don't have machines to properly detect all the different layers of energy and all the interactions of energy that are going on to everyone, whether you believe in this stuff or not, is happening. We haven't developed it yet, but one day we will. So I wanted to chat about you being more conscious of places where you're spending your time, surroundings, you know, the material belongings in your home. So if you're living in a dead parent's home or an ex-husband's home, or you know, a relative, or you've moved into a house where some kind of drama took place, it was not good, you will be affected by the historical energies in that property. Unless it's had a proper big cleansing happening to it, it's going to, for a long time after you move in, there's going to be residual energy there from that person. Now, I talk a lot about Paula, and I remember she moved into a new property at one point. When I say new property, I don't mean a new build. She'd moved house, and she was in this little flat that she was renting, and it had she didn't like the energy of it. And I came in on her one day, and she was sending energy into the walls of the flat. It was like a love energy. She was putting her energy all over the place, and pushing out or transmuting the residual energy that was stuck there, that wasn't so nice. Now, we all know people, you hear, sometimes can hear neighbours or whatever where you live, and they're not having a good time. They're arguing, or dogs barking, or things going on that's seems very traumatic and horrible. And then they might move out, and somebody else moves in, and they might find themselves arguing or being depressed or whatever it is, and it's because of the energy in the bricks and mortar and fabric of those buildings. And so whenever you go into a property, you will feel if it resonates with you, you know. And if you are someone that tends towards depression or reclusiveness or anger, or, you know, if you have some issues, if you're an alcoholic or something like that, and you move into a building and somebody that's like you has lived there before, it's going to feel like a comfy old shoe. You're going to fit right into that building. But if circumstances force you to move into a house and it really doesn't feel nice. There's something about it that's very off-putting. You don't really know what it is. It's had a coat of paint, and the furniture's all been removed, but it feels yucky to you. Then there are things you can do. You can do like my friend did with the physically sending energy. I always just picture a big column of white light coming down through my crown chakra and down into my heart, and from my heart I can radiate it out, especially down my arms and from these little bits in the center of your palm. They're like little portals, for energy. I'm a trained Reiki practitioner, although I don't have a business or anything. I just learned a long time ago for my own personal use for me and my children and family. But Reiki's a beautiful subject to get to know, and you can really play about. And one of the things I learned during Reiki was to put like healing energy into crystals or stones or small objects, soft toys, anything. You can put that energy into anything. It can go into things you've crafted or painted or created in some fashion. You can put your Reiki energy into that, and people will be drawn to it, and it will retain that healing energy until it's somebody else neutralizes it. It's like in physics, a thing will continue in the direction it goes until opposed by another force. It will, once you charge up something, it has that intention put into it. It's got that energy kick started in it. It's like a little Duracell bunny. It'll just keep going, emitting healing energy. And as I say, unless somebody alters that in some way and alters the energy of it, it's a beautiful thing to do. If you've got long distance friends and family, you can send them healing crystals or something, or a little just a little sentiment on a card or whatever, and put that beautiful energy into it. And even if you don't know how to do Reiki, and you don't you're not trained, and you're really not sure how it all works, but you have a beautiful soul and you are actually a light worker, even if you don't know it, the very fact that you painted a little picture or wrote a card, or put kisses on things, or anything, any interaction you have with an object will get an imprint of your energy into it, will get an imprint of your intention at that time. So if your intention is very loving and has good wishes for people, that's nice energy I'm getting, then that energy will come down automatically through you. It is you. I mean, we can feel our tangible flesh here, but actually that's just vibrating. Any scientist will tell you, if you take anything material, even living flesh, and you study it under a microscope, you will see that it's actually just vibrating particles. We break down, and they get down so small they really can't see what's there. They don't have microscopes that go small enough to see what we are composed of properly. So we're these strange creations of God that we just vibrate energy, and that's constantly changing and altering in a beautiful rainbow of emotions and thoughts and feelings, and it can expand out and contract in, and it's just flowing about. So when you're wanting to be of help to somebody long distance, you can take a card or a painting or a little token, and just hold it and think good wishes and wish healing on the people, and if you put it between your palms, it will pick up your energy, and they will feel it when they receive it. There'll be this instant link, an energetic connection between you, the sender, to the recipient, and through that energy link they will receive upliftment and healing and love. It's just an amazing thing. So that's the positive aspects of it. And when these psychics and mediums come and they're trying to make connections, to find a body, or to connect with a loved one that's passed over and they have one of their objects. That's what it is. It's this instant strand of energy that links the object to the person that owned it, and it's really, the object isn't what's giving the information, it's just drawing that link. It's like a cosmic telephone it creates, and that soul that's on the other end of it, that own the object, they are linked to you now, and they are answering your questions or communicating with you. It's not the object. The object's just like a key to that connection. So we've got physical DNA, we've got energetic DNA. So wherever you walk, a lot of light workers, I believe, like myself, I know I am a light worker, and I have beautiful energy. I just always have done. I just have a beautiful healing energy without me doing a thing or being extra good person or anything. It's just who I am. And this energy, the universe places light workers into more stubborn, darker spots of the world, sometimes very much against their desire, really. I mean, I volunteered for this. I'm here in a place where there's a lot of 3D energy going on. There's a lot of stuck souls, or unhappy people, depressed people, alcohol, drugs, darkness. It's not where I'm happiest, I have to confess. I want to be with all the spiritual folk, you know, just all in a big loving each other and hugging each other and sharing kindness, and you know, that's where I crave to be, by the ocean, with loving people who are not afraid to be hippy dippy, and you know, their crystals and their incense, and the free speech about spiritual stuff, those big deep talks. But the universe says no, not now, not yet. You have to be here, you know, with all these troubled souls that are. I'm living in Tory England at the minute, and it's just not, doesn't resonate with me at all. But I know I'm here for a purpose, and just by having me in this area, it's like a little beacon of light pumping out into this area. And it's not just me. I'm not saying that any one individual has the power to do anything. I'm one of hundreds of thousands of people that are positioned in like in a grid form almost all around the world, raising the vibration of the spaces they occupy and impacting people. Now, I'm in no way making a direct connection here, but in the Bible, Jesus was supposed to have had, you know, a thousandfold more light than me. You know, he had this amazing healing energy where he could heal the sick or change. You know, he inspired all this willingness for people to change, and kindness, and brought all those wonderful Christian values, you know, and teachings. And I don't believe in religion. I'm a spiritual person, so I don't associate myself with a particular religion. I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, and every religion has spiritual aspects to it. Just, I think man got in the way with religions, and everyone's free to pick their own, what they believe in. But I do think that man muddied up spirituality and created religions which think they are opposite to each other, and actually many of them have a core the same teachings. It's just a spirituality, a kindness to others, you know, it's all about being loving and kind, and treating others as you want to be treated yourself. Anyway, Jesus, which was the religion I was raised in, he was supposed to have this amazing energy, and he could walk through town and sort of heal the sick and transform situations. You know, people would be arguing, and if he came into the area, they would, you know, stop arguing and hug each other and say, I'm sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. And he just had this power to transform lives as he that were around him. That's why he inspired all those followers. They hungered after his energy. My friend Paula, she used to say to me, people come to me for readings, but they're not really needing the reading. She was a tarot reader and a psychic medium. She said they come for my energy, because it's kind of addictive. If you meet someone that has a beautiful energy, it really feels nice to be in their company. It's a soothing balm in a troubled world. So people emanate an energy from themselves, and it can vary minute by minute, but we have a kind of core base rate, and so there are light workers who most of the time will be emanating beautiful healing light that impacts others around them, raises their energy, uplifts people. It does have the power to make people think higher thoughts, and we're all planted round about. Frequently you don't get to hang out with each other. It's as if we're all on these solitary journeys, and as we get closer to the world wakening up to these spiritual matters, we can maybe congregate more. I'm hoping that as I get older, they'll say, you've done enough. You can now go and live your life with others like you. Go to where the energies resonate with you, and be happy and loving from that place of light, rather than having to be kept in a place of varying light. It's not all bad, but I can see things a lot of the time, and I don't like what I see. And you just think, oh, bless them, bless them, bless them, and try and say, I do something, now I'm conscious of it now, I am awake. I try and send healing energy. Sometimes when I get very upset by the news, or people on the news, or politicians, and your 3D reaction is to get very angry with them, and to get very confrontational, and that's the sort of dualistic 3D energy where it's them and us and all that. When I'm in my better days, and I have my 5D energy going, I think I'll send them love and light, because it will uplift them, and they will automatically stop doing what they're doing. They will evolve, they will be more awake and aware. It will open them up to higher energies coming in. If enough people could send these awful despots, some love and light, maybe we could stop all these different wars and fighting and awfulness that's happening in the world. I'm told it, that all the spiritual mentors that I follow, the word comes back that we are having an effect, all the light workers and all the young souls coming onto the planet. It is having an impact. The world is changing, and that what we are seeing at the moment is a kind of clash of these energies. It's sort of rattling cages a bit and shaking up negativity that's locked. It's locked in the earth, and it's locked in ourselves. It's locked in little energy pockets, and by bringing light energy against it, to transmute the dark energy, there's a little bit of a tussle goes on there, and it shakes loose the negativity, and in it shaking loose, you can get natural disasters, you can get wars, you can get angry protesters, and you can get old trauma, you can get repeat situations if you take it to a more personal level rather than a global level. You will get family splits, you will get old traumas coming up that you thought you'd healed from. They come up again because the bits of them have been trapped inside you, and they have to go. You can't take it with you. That I think that's what some of Jesus' teachings about, the rich man, and you can't take your stuff with you. As you evolve and grow on an energetic level, You cannot take this old baggage with you. You have to release it, transmute it, and make space for the higher energy to come in. So, you know, a lot of people we've all had very challenging lives. I don't know anybody that's not had a very challenging life, and I know that people have much worse than me, but I also think that other people haven't had a fraction of what I've experienced. You know, so we've all got our own different issues going on depending on what life we chose, and pockets of the trauma of the past and the pain of the past and the sadness and the hurts we're just that little it's all trapped into ourselves at different bits of us, and you will get a funny twinge in your knee, or a pain in your back or your shoulder or your neck or your head, and that pain might be signalling an old trauma. That's where your body stuck it. You know, it stuck that bit of energy, didn't know what to do with it, couldn't process it at the time, wrapped it up, you know, in an organ or something, and you have to energetically heal yourself in order to expand and to feel the joy and the love and the light, and as you discard old energies, old possessions, clean up your environment energetically, you will notice a vibrational shift upwards, and this will open you up. It's like ripples in a pond. If you can raise your energy, it energies have to match. So you will feel very uncomfortable in a low energy. Either you have to lower your energy to match it, or you have to raise its energy up to match you in order to feel comfortable. So there's this dynamic going on all the time, and you have to be consciously aware of it, or you won't understand why you feel the way you feel, and you won't feel empowered to improve your situation. So you should look about you. If you're holding on to hurtful old letters or something, burn them. Bless them, bless them, bless them, and be gone. I'm smiling because when I broke up with my ex-husband, who was very, very toxic and who was extremely horrible to me in the closing end days of our marriage, and left me kind of very traumatized and with CPTSD. Well, I gathered up all his love letters and nonsense and lies, and I had a bit of a burning bin moment, and as I dropped them in, I would say, all lies, all lies. It was very freeing and releasing, very funny, but that literally burned that old energy that was stuck in a drawer in my room in my new life. So you have to examine, are you holding on to possessions of people who were toxic, or that you don't resonate with anymore? Consider getting rid of them, or doing some kind of energetic healing on those objects through, now how we've got water. Water can cleanse, running water, moving water can cleanse items. Salt water, these are good. You've got smudging. Smudging's brilliant. You open a window at the somewhere at the top of the house, and you go round room to room, sort of saying, anything that feels true to you. So this, I hereby cleanse this room of all negative energies, or I call upon my guides to help me clear this room of all negative energy. I release it and send it to the violet flame to be transmuted. You don't have to have clever words or sound very spiritual. You have to have the intention. That's it. The intention and the best words you can think that suit your circumstance. I disconnect myself from this individual. Please clear and cleanse all their energy from this room. Whatever is appropriate to you is tailor-made. Energy is unique. Your situation is unique, so you can do that. You go room to room. You can clear negative energy, Or if you want to imprint energy, you can do what Paula did, and you can be sending, picturing this column of light coming down, let it mull about in your heart chakra for a minute, then it comes down your arm and out the little portals into the walls, boom, and that will change the energy of that space. It will make it feel like a little cocoon of love. It's a wonderful thing. You can send other people the healing in whatever form you want to send them, a little token or something. If they keep it, that's great. And then they will always have that, and they can pick it up and hold it and just feel comforted by you. You can cleanse objects with smoke, so light a candle. Crystals, I keep a little quartz crystal. I'm training it. I'm training this crystal. It's a wee bashed up thing. It's got cracks and flaws in it, and I just resonate with it. It's like, well, I'm cracked and flawed as well. I'm not the prettiest crystal in the box, but this wee quartz crystal, I regularly hold it. I try and mentally connect with it, and I'm asking it to be my sort of, it's like a worker crystal. So when I'm trying to do my meditations or healing or any kind of spiritual work at all, I will use this crystal to magnify and amplify my intentions. And it will do it. Quartz crystals in particular, I think, are very powerful. I think in past years, bygone years, we knew a lot more about crystals than we do now. We got a little bit carried away with the power of what you could do with a crystal, and I think that world was ended because mankind didn't have the emotional spiritual maturity to deal with the power that is in crystals. And I think that one day we will be given back some of that knowledge, and from crystals you will get the energy, you know, rather than using fossil fuels and stuff. We'll be using crystals and for healing and communications and all kinds of things. I think crystals are amazing, and I know I have it locked in my ancestral DNA, the knowledge of how to work with crystals, and I might do some videos on crystals. But you don't have to know things in order to use them and benefit from them. So you find a wee crystal that you resonate with, and start filling it with your energy and working alongside it and communicating with it. And you don't know how that will, you know, expand your abilities. I think it will help a lot. So just throwing that in there. You can use, like I could use this crystal to clear, you know, say I had a pen, I could use this crystal and just sort of say, crystal, help me to remove any negative energy from this pen, or something like that. Or I could put, I don't have one here, I could get a little piece of jewellery or something, and I'd say, right, crystal, can you help me put healing energy into this little pendant, and just kind of use it as a sort of channel of focus, a tool to amplify and to direct what you want to do. You could rub it on your head if you've got a headache. There's just, you know, there's just a myriad ways you can use something as simple as a little miracle of nature like this. Okay, so I advise you get yourself a wee crystal, and that won't hurt you. I have a piece of a smudge stick here. They make them from all sorts. You can make them yourself. You light it, you set it aflame, you let it burn, you blow it out, and you use the smoke to waft about the room. The smoke is supposed to attract energy, negative energies to it. Then you open a window and it carries it out the window and up into the cosmos again. I lit a blue candle here today. It's just and blue is a colour of communication, so I thought I'll light a blue candle today to help me communicate more clearly, because I tend to ramble a little bit, and I do apologise because I know I've done that. So you've got smoke, smudge, candles, crystals, intention, water. You can also bury things in the earth. You know, don't go too deep, you'll not get them back. So You dig a wee hole, you put something in that you know, watch or whatever it is, I don't know, whatever you're doing, you put it into the earth, you cover it over, and you get it out 24 hours later or something, and dust it down, and it'll be fine. It won't have that energy dominant in it anymore. So I hope that's helped you understand energetic hygiene and how energy can be lingering and present in buildings and in possessions, and things you can do about it and how you can work with it to make it act in your desired way. I hope I haven't confused you. I hope I've just given you a lot of food for thought there, and that you can go and start playing about with it now. And I'll have a wee think about doing some maybe a series of crystal videos, because I absolutely love crystals, and also colour healing. I love that. And all the things we can do, which is, oh gosh, it's like a playground, a spiritual playground, the earth, and we should be having more fun with it, and we should be just getting our hands stuck into it all, and not being, you know, afraid to play about and do what we came down to earth to experience. Physical reality, how we can transform ourselves and manifest into our world all the wonderful abundance that's available to us. I haven't quite mastered that one yet, but I'm working on it, and if I hit upon it, I will certainly share it with you. If you've got any thoughts and comments about this discussion, stick them in the comments down below. Please feel free to share with other people. Subscribe. I have a lot of good content that's already there, and I have a lot of wonderful ideas that I will be doing for future videos, and so like and subscribe, and share, and be involved. Have a comment if you think of something you can add to this that I've been talking about today. So I hope that's helped you, and I'd like to say good luck. I'm sending you a bit of energy now, and God bless. Speak to you again soon.